The small starship Aurora glided quietly into the neutral station. Its engines hummed softly, a low, steady sound that echoed through the empty hangar bay. Outside, the stars shimmered in silence, far away from the familiar blue skies of Earth. The station was enormous, a ring of metal and glass that floated in the black of space, with ships of all shapes and sizes docked along its arms. Humans moved quickly along the corridors, their boots clanging softly against the metal floors, while robots wheeled past carrying crates and supplies. 2 alien envoys had arrived on the station in sleek, silver pods. They floated silently inside, their large, dark eyes scanning the humans with curiosity. Their skin glimmered faintly under the station lights, shifting in shades of green and blue. Their society was built on strict rules and logic, where emotions were studied but rarely expressed. They had no concept of gestures like smiling, handing gifts, or speaking without purpose. Everything they did had meaning, calculated carefully in advance. Anna, a human engineer, leaned against the railing of the corridor overlooking the docking bay. Her short brown hair bounced slightly as she adjusted her gloves, her eyes following the strange shapes of the alien pods. She had been at the station for months, repairing engines, fixing computers, and helping coordinate shipments. But the aliens fascinated her. "They don't look dangerous," she said quietly to herself. "Just lost, maybe?" Leo, the taller of the 2 aliens, floated near the front of his pod, staring at the humans moving below. His hands were long and slender, tipped with delicate fingers that flexed with precision. He had been taught to observe, record, and analyze everything without interfering. Yet, as he looked at the humans, something strange stirred inside him, a curiosity he did not understand. Anna took a small trinket from her pocket. It was a simple charm, a tiny globe of polished wood that had been in her family for generations. She twirled it gently in her fingers before stepping closer to the railing. "Hey there," she said softly, her voice carrying just enough to reach the pods. "I thought you might like this." She held the globe up toward Leo. He blinked, unsure what to do. No one had ever offered him a gift without expectation before. No one had ever smiled at him just to make him feel welcome. The other alien, smaller and rounder, tilted its head, observing the interaction with curiosity. Their records had no data on human gestures like this. They had expected formal introductions, logical conversations, and precise questions about trade and diplomacy. Not this kindness. Leo hesitated. He reached out slowly with one of his long fingers. The globe felt oddly warm in his hand. The texture, smooth yet slightly uneven, made him feel something he had never felt before. Confusion, perhaps. Or maybe something closer to what humans called emotion. Anna smiled wider, her eyes sparkling. "It's just a little thing from home," she said. "No need to say thank you. I just wanted to share it with you." The aliens exchanged glances. They could not understand why she had done this. In their world, giving something meant expecting something in return. Every action had a purpose. But this was different. It was free. Pure. Over the next few hours, Anna stayed nearby, explaining small things about life on the station. She showed Leo and the smaller alien how to operate simple devices, how humans ate their meals, and even introduced them to a small game she played with the station children. The aliens watched silently, absorbing everything like sponges, their minds racing to categorize these strange behaviors. "What is this joy?" Leo whispered finally as Anna laughed while teaching a young human to spin a small metal top. "Joy." Anna tilted her head, considering. "It's feeling happy, I guess. When something good happens or when you like being with someone." She laughed softly. "It's hard to explain, really. But you'll feel it someday, maybe?" The aliens did not respond. They simply floated there, their eyes wide. No words existed for what they were feeling. Their logic circuits whirred silently as they tried to reconcile these human behaviors with their understanding of the universe. By evening, the station's lights dimmed slightly, simulating the passing of day. Humans gathered in the small mess hall for dinner. Anna invited the aliens to join, explaining carefully that this was a human tradition. Eating together, sharing stories, talking about the day. The aliens looked at the long tables, at the humans laughing and passing dishes back and forth. "Why do they share so freely?" one of them asked in a low voice, more to itself than to Anna. "Because it matters," Anna said simply. "It's part of being family. Even if you're not related by blood, if you care for each other, you share. That's what makes us strong." Leo studied her carefully. His society had never thought about strength in terms of care. Strength had been measured by skill, intelligence, and ability to follow rules perfectly. But here, in this warm, noisy hall, He saw humans supporting each other, listening, helping, and laughing even in times of stress. Anna handed them plates of simple food, bread, roasted vegetables, small portions of meat, and smiled. "Try it. Don't worry about the rules. Just eat." The aliens hesitated, then mimicked her movements. As they tasted the food, they noticed something strange. The humans seemed to enjoy it not just for survival but because it was pleasant, comforting. Every bite, every shared glance, every laugh carried meaning beyond necessity. That night, as the station's lights dimmed and the humans went to their quarters to sleep, Leo and the smaller aliens stayed floating in their pods. They were quiet, but inside, their minds churned with new ideas. Could something as simple as sharing a meal, a smile, or a gift be important? Could it be a form of power? Anna walked past their pods one last time before heading to her own room. She waved, and Leo found himself waving back, uncertain but compelled. "Good night," she said softly. "We'll see you in the morning." The aliens watched her leave. The concept of family had never existed in their society. Yet somehow they felt included. Not forced, not calculated, but simply accepted. The warmth, the unexpected care, made something shift inside them. As the station settled into silence, Leo clutched the small wooden globe tighter. It was only a trinket, small and simple, but it was the first connection he had ever felt beyond duty and logic. He did not yet understand its full meaning, but he wanted to. And in that quiet, human kindness had planted its seed. The next day they would begin observing more, learning more, and slowly realizing that the universe was not only about rules and logic. There was something powerful, something unpredictable, something entirely human. And that something was family. The next morning, the station hummed with life. The corridors were alive with the steady rhythm of human movement. Boots clanging on metal floors, the soft whirring of drones and voices calling greetings to one another. The aliens watched quietly from their pods. Leo and the smaller envoy, Kai, observed everything, their dark eyes scanning the humans' actions with a mix of curiosity and confusion. Anna walked past their pods carrying a small toolkit. "Morning," she said, smiling. "You'll want to watch this. We've got a lot to do today." Kai tilted his head. "Why are they always helping each other?" he asked Leo in a whisper. "Even when it is not required?" Leo did not answer immediately. He studied Mia, the medic, who was kneeling in front of a broken life support panel. Sparks flickered and small alarms beeped intermittently. She adjusted wires and tested switches without hesitation. A few engineers moved past her, offering tools she didn't ask for, and she accepted them calmly, nodding thanks but without ceremony. Nearby, Ethan, the pilot, carried a crate that seemed far too heavy for one person. He struggled slightly but kept moving, stepping carefully to avoid bumping into others. No one had told him to carry it. No one had demanded it. He just did it as though it was the natural thing to do. Kai whispered again. "Why do they risk themselves for others? There is no gain." Anna, who had noticed the aliens observing, walked over and crouched beside Kai's pod. "It's not about gain," she said softly. "It's about care. About looking out for each other. That's what family is, even if you aren't related by blood. You protect the people you care about." Kai paused, studying her face. "Family is loyalty and care?" Anna nodded. "Yes. It's when you help someone even when it's dangerous or inconvenient. You share burdens. You look out for each other because you care, not because you have to." Leo floated silently beside Kai. He tried to understand. In his society, every action had a reason, a rule, or a calculation. Risking oneself without expectation of reward was illogical. Yet he could not deny the effect it had on the humans. They moved faster, worked harder, and accomplished more when they cared for one another. The day passed slowly, filled with small acts of teamwork. Mia finished repairing the life support panel, and the lights steadied once more. Ethan finally set down the heavy crate, wiping sweat from his brow, and smiled as he saw others carrying smaller crates in a chain, passing supplies efficiently down the corridor. Kai watched all this silently, his head tilted, absorbing the lesson. "They are stronger together," he whispered. "Not because of weapons or rules, because of trust." Anna noticed and smiled. "Exactly," she said. "Trust and care make humans stronger than any single weapon or system. Alone we can do some things. But together we can do more than you imagine." Later, during a break, Anna led the aliens to a small lounge. Humans sat in groups, eating and talking. Some laughed loudly while others whispered quietly. Some handed snacks to each other, others offered small gifts, trinkets or drawings from the children on the station. "Do they always do this?" Kai asked, watching a human hand a small bracelet to another. Not always, Anna said. But whenever someone needs help or someone else is lonely or someone is afraid, we reach out. That's how we survive. That's how we grow. That's how we build family. Leo studied her. His mind whirred. In their society, people only did what was required. Obedience, efficiency, and logic ruled all behavior. But humans had no strict rules, no rigid structure holding them together. Yet somehow they were stronger. Somehow their bonds made them capable of facing things no calculated plan could predict. That afternoon, a minor accident occurred near the cargo bay. A crate tipped over, spilling tools across the floor. Ethan rushed forward to pick them up, but a small explosion sparked from a nearby container. Sparks flew dangerously close to the human workers. Without hesitation, Mia grabbed a fire extinguisher and ran into the small blaze. Anna directed others away from danger, while Ethan helped move crates and shields from the fire. Humans called instructions to each other, coordinated without any formal orders, their trust in one another guiding every action. Kai floated silently in his pod, his eyes wide. They are not afraid, he whispered. Even when they could be hurt, they act, for each other. Anna overheard him. Fear doesn't stop humans when they care, she said. Sometimes we're scared. But caring for someone else makes you stronger than fear. By evening, the station returned to its usual calm. Humans cleaned up, repaired damage, and shared a simple meal together. The aliens remained in their pods, unable to sleep as they processed the day's events. Kai turned to Leo. I do not understand fully. But, this connection, it is powerful. Leo nodded slowly. Yes, they call it family. Anna stopped by their pods one last time before retiring to her quarters. You're learning fast, she said softly. It won't make sense immediately, but you'll see. Humans protect each other because we choose to. And sometimes that choice is stronger than any law, any rule, or any weapon. The aliens were quiet after she left, their processors running, their minds trying to capture a concept they had never encountered. A bond chosen freely, not commanded, but respected and nurtured. Night fell over the station, the lights dimming to a soft glow. Humans slept, humans talked quietly, humans laughed softly in their quarters. And the aliens floated in silence, experiencing something entirely new. The warmth, the small kindnesses, the risk taken for others, they did not yet have words for it, but they could feel it. Kai held himself closer to Leo in the pod, whispering, if this is what they call family, then perhaps we have never known it. Leo's hands, long and delicate, rested on the controls of his pod. He studied the humans below, Anna laughing with a child, Mia cleaning up a spill, Ethan stacking crates carefully, and realized the truth in her words. Family was more than biology. It was trust, loyalty, and care. And these humans, with their simple, chaotic ways, carried a power no calculation could match. As the night stretched on, Kai's mind repeated a single thought: family is choice. And choice makes strength. And with that small understanding, the aliens began to see the first true secret of human power. It was not in their weapons, their technology, or their rules. It was in each other. By morning they would observe again, watch more, and slowly begin to question everything they had been taught. Because humans were not just beings of logic and order, they were beings of heart. And in the heart, the aliens realized, there was a strength far greater than anything they had ever known. The morning had begun quietly, with humans moving along the station corridors, checking systems and preparing for the day. Leo and Kai floated silently in their pods, observing as always, still absorbing the lessons of human behavior. Anna was reviewing maintenance reports with Mia and Ethan when a sudden tremor shook the station. The lights flickered. A low rumble ran through the metal corridors. Then came the alarms, a loud, piercing sound that echoed through every hall. Red lights flashed, bathing the station in a harsh glow. What is happening? Kai whispered, gripping the edges of his pod. His voice trembled slightly. He had never encountered this level of disorder before. I don't know yet, Leo said, his voice steady but tight. Sensors indicate a storm. A massive one. Approaching the sector rapidly. The station shook again, harder this time. Crates toppled over in the storage bays, loose wires sparked, and some small panels fell from the ceilings. Humans shouted to each other, moving quickly to respond, but not with panic. Instead, they split into teams, each knowing instinctively what needed to be done. Anna barked out instructions. Mia, check medical supplies. Ethan, secure the cargo bays. I'll go to the control room to stabilize the power. Everyone else, follow your training and help where you can. Kai's eyes widened. He had never seen such organized chaos. And yet, despite the alarms and shaking floors, the humans moved calmly, decisively, and together. Mia rushed to the medical bay, her bag slung over her shoulder. She found a small group of injured crew members, some with bruises from falling equipment, others with minor burns from sparks. She guided them to safety, wrapping bandages and giving comfort while her other hand held a small device to monitor vital signs. "I've got you," she said softly to one young engineer who trembled with fear. "You're safe now. Just breathe. We'll take care of you." Kai watched silently. He had never seen a healer act with such speed and care. In his society, medical care was procedural, clinical, and distant. Here, Mia moved with heart, touching arms, speaking softly, holding hands when needed. He could almost feel the warmth she exuded, and it was confusing. Ethan, meanwhile, ran to the control panels that had been knocked offline by the tremors. Sparks flew around him, but he didn't hesitate. He opened a panel, checked circuits, and replaced wires while shouting instructions to other crew members. "Anna, we need more power rerouted to life support." "I can't hold it much longer," he called. Anna, already halfway to the control room, directed them through the station's intercom. Her voice was calm, commanding, but never harsh. "Ethan, I'm on it. Keep going. Others are coming to help you with the wiring. Don't stop." Kai floated closer to Leo, whispering, They work together even when it is dangerous. They do not retreat. They do not wait for orders. They act. They act for each other." Leo nodded slowly. "Yes. They protect their own. Even strangers if they care for them. This is family in action." The storm outside battered the station relentlessly. Meteors and debris tore across the shields, rattling the walls. Outside observation windows, the blackness of space was streaked with bright flashes from collisions. The station groaned under the strain, metal twisting slightly, alarms continuing their constant, piercing wail. Inside, humans were everywhere. Some moved supplies to reinforce the hull. Some monitored the systems, checking for damage. Others helped the injured, carried the weak, or reassured frightened children in the station's residential areas. Kai's dark eyes followed a small group of humans helping an older engineer who had fallen. They took turns lifting him carefully, supporting him along the corridor, moving as one. No one complained. No one hesitated. "How can they do this?" Kai asked Leo quietly. "Their bodies are weak. They can be harmed. Yet they risk themselves again and again, for others." Leo thought for a moment. "Because they choose to care. That is the difference. Their strength does not come from muscles or weapons. It comes from each other. They act not because they must, but because they want to help. That desire, it creates power no calculations can produce." Anna ran from the control room to the cargo bay, coordinating her crew. "Move the containers. Support the panels. Keep the hallways clear." Her voice cut through the chaos, but it was full of warmth, not fear. She stopped for a moment to catch her breath and saw Ethan struggling with a heavy panel. She ran to him. "Here, let me help. We can do it together." Ethan nodded, surprised but relieved. Together, they managed to lift the panel into place, securing it with a loud click. Sparks flew, but neither of them flinched. Around them, humans moved in pairs, trios, or small teams, each helping the other. No one was left behind. Kai turned to Leo again. "Their strength, it is not individual. It is collective. They gain courage from others. They gain speed, precision, and skill from their bonds. It is incredible." Leo's voice was quiet. "Yes. And notice, none of it is ordered. None of it is required. They are not told to help. They choose to." Hours passed, and slowly the worst of the storm subsided. The station's shields held, the walls remained intact, and the life support system stabilized thanks to the combined efforts of humans. Exhausted but uninjured, they gathered in the main hall, helping each other up, checking for anyone left behind, sharing water and words of encouragement. Kai floated silently, observing them. He had recorded every detail, but words were not enough. The humans had displayed a kind of power that was entirely foreign to him. A strength born not from strategy or rules, but from loyalty, care, and trust. Anna looked around at her crew, her face tired but glowing. She clapped her hands softly. "We did it. Everyone check on your neighbors. Make sure everyone is okay. We're stronger together." A small cheer went up from the humans. They patted each other on the back, shared smiles, and even laughed softly at minor mishaps that had occurred during the storm. The relief was tangible. Kai floated closer to Leo. "I do not understand fully," he said, his voice low. "But I think I want to. I want to feel this connection. even if it is dangerous, even if it is unpredictable. Leo nodded, silently agreeing. This is why humans are feared in some sectors, he said. Not for their weapons, not for their numbers, but for this, their bonds, their ability to face danger together, to care, to act when others hesitate. They are powerful beyond reason. As night fell, the humans settled, tired but unbroken. They tended to the minor injuries, checked the systems once more, and shared quiet meals together. Anna found a moment to visit the aliens' pods. You saw it, didn't you? She asked softly. This is who we are. Not because we have to survive. Not because it is logical. But because we choose to care for each other. Family is not always blood. Sometimes it is choice. And that choice makes us strong. Kai's hands hovered over the pod controls, almost trembling. He did not yet fully understand the concept, but he could feel its weight. The warmth, the loyalty, the unspoken trust. These were things he had never known. And yet they had saved lives today. Leo studied the humans below, the way they moved, the way they spoke, the way they cared. The station had returned to quiet. The alarms had stopped, the lights stabilized, and humans moved slowly through the corridors, checking systems, making sure everything was safe. Outside, the storm had passed, leaving the stars shining clearly against the blackness of space. The space beyond the station looked calm and peaceful, but inside, the humans were still alert. They moved with careful steps, helping each other lift fallen equipment, checking for injuries, and making sure that even the smallest mistakes were corrected. Kai floated silently in his pod, watching the humans. The events of the storm still lingered in his mind. He had watched them act, seen them take risks, seen them place themselves in danger, not for reward, not for logic, but simply for each other. It was something that his own society could not understand, something impossible to calculate or explain. Leo floated beside him, quiet as always. He too had witnessed it. Humans had saved lives, repaired systems, and calmed the frightened, all without hesitation or complaint. And yet, there had been no expectation of repayment, no hidden motive. The aliens could not understand it, yet they could feel the weight of it. Kai broke the silence, his voice low, almost trembling. Why? Why do they do this? Why do they risk themselves for others without asking for anything in return? Leo shook his head slowly. I do not know, not fully. But I think it is something they call care. Something stronger than fear, stronger than logic. Something human. Kai's eyes followed Anna as she moved through the hall, speaking quietly to a small group of engineers who were fixing a broken panel. Her gestures were calm and steady, and yet her eyes shone with a warmth he had never seen in his life. He felt drawn to her, to the example she set for all the humans. He floated toward her pod, his long fingers brushing lightly against the controls. Anna, he said softly. I do not understand. Why do you care for us? Anna turned toward him and smiled, a simple, kind smile. It was not a smile of duty or obligation. It was a smile that carried warmth, trust, and honesty. We care, she said, because that is what humans do. Family is not just blood. Family is anyone who needs you. You just have to choose to care. Kai paused. The words were simple, but their meaning shook him. Family, anyone who needs you. Not someone forced into your life, not someone tied to you by rules or duty, but someone you choose to protect and support. It was a strange concept, alien to him in every way. His people had rules, hierarchies, obligations, and logic. But humans had choice. And in that choice they found strength far beyond anything Kai had ever imagined. Leo observed silently, watching Kai struggle to understand. He had seen humans act as one during the storm, moving instinctively to help others without question, without hesitation. The thought of acting without calculation, without expectation of reward, was foreign to him. And yet, here it was embodied in every human around them. Anna continued. It is not always easy. Sometimes it is scary. Sometimes it costs us something. But when you care for someone, when you choose to protect them, you create a bond. A bond that makes you stronger than fear, stronger than any rule, stronger than anything else in the universe. Kai processed the words slowly, his mind turning them over again and again. He had never known a bond like this. His society valued loyalty but only as a rule. Obedience was a requirement. Love, care, and choice, these were considered weaknesses. And yet, what he had witnessed was far from weak. Humans had faced danger, chaos, and fear and emerged stronger because of it. He looked around the hall. Humans were helping each other clean up after the storm. They shared water and food with those who were hungry, comforted those who were afraid, and checked on everyone to make sure no one was forgotten. Even small children were included, their fears soothed by adults who treated them like equals, not as lesser beings. Kai whispered to Leo, "Their rules, our rules, they are small. Cold. Useless. They do not create strength like this." Leo's voice was quiet. "Yes. Our logic and order cannot match the power of care. We have underestimated them." Kai's gaze returned to Anna. She knelt to help a young child pick up fallen tools, laughing softly as the child stumbled and apologized. "It's okay," she said gently. "We all make mistakes. We help each other. That's what matters." The child's eyes lit up, and for a moment, Kai felt something strange, a flicker in his chest he could not name. It was warmth. It was confusion. It was longing. He realized that humans did not just survive together, they lived together. And in that life they became stronger, braver, happier. Anna stood again, brushing dust from her sleeves. She glanced at the alien pods. "I know it's strange," she said softly, as though speaking directly to them. "We know we are different. But if you watch, if you choose to understand, you will see that what we do is simple. We care. That's it. Nothing more. Nothing less. And it is everything." The storm had passed completely, leaving the station calm and bright. Outside, the stars glittered against the black sky, and the quiet hum of the station's engines was the only sound. Humans moved through the corridors, repairing minor damage, checking systems, and helping anyone in need. The aliens, Kai and Leo, floated in their pods, watching carefully, but something had changed. They no longer saw humans as simply a species to study. They saw a network of trust, loyalty, and care, stronger than any calculation, more powerful than any rule. Kai turned to Leo, his voice quiet. I want to stay. I want to learn more. I want to be part of this." Leo's long fingers brushed lightly over the pod controls. "I think we can stay. They are different from anything we know. And there is much to learn." The decision was made. The aliens' delegation would remain longer than planned, extending their mission to observe and understand the humans. They watched closely as Anna moved among her crew, speaking softly, laughing at small jokes, and helping anyone who struggled with a task. Even the smallest human actions amazed them. A mechanic shared a warm meal with a tired engineer. Children giggled as Anna taught them a simple game, showing patience even when the children argued or stumbled. Mia helped another medic clean a wound, comforting the injured crew member with a hand on their shoulder, words of reassurance and calm confidence. Ethan repaired a control panel that had been damaged during the storm, smiling when another crew member offered help, showing no pride in his work, only concern for the group's success. Kai floated near Anna's pod. I think I understand better now," he whispered. They are more than what we recorded. They are alive in a way we cannot measure." Anna noticed him floating nearby and smiled. "You've been paying attention," she said gently. "That's good. Takes time to see it all. But you are learning." 4 days the aliens observed, asked questions and tried to participate. At first their movements were awkward. Kai's long, delicate fingers fumbled with tools, and Leo's posture made simple tasks slower than human hands. But the humans did not scold them. They guided them patiently, offering instructions, encouragement, and even laughter at minor mistakes. One morning Anna called Kai over. "We're preparing for a small mission," she said. "We could use another hand." Kai hesitated. I do not know if I can help. I have not worked like this before." Anna placed her hand gently on his arm. "It's okay. You're learning. That is enough. We'll guide you. And if you make mistakes, we fix them together. That's how we work. Together." Kai looked around at the humans moving around him. He saw their patience, their encouragement, and the way they never abandoned anyone, no matter how inexperienced. Something warm spread through him. For the first time he felt a sense of belonging, a connection that was not demanded or forced. He nodded. I want to try." The mission was simple but critical. A nearby satellite had stopped transmitting, and the humans were sent to repair it. Kai floated beside Ethan as they moved through the station's docking bay and into the small shuttle that would take them to the satellite. He was nervous, unsure how to move in the shuttle's small space, unsure how to handle the equipment. But every time he hesitated, Ethan offered guidance, a hand on his shoulder, a quiet word of reassurance. When they arrived at the satellite, the aliens saw firsthand the skill and teamwork of the humans. Anna coordinated the repairs, giving instructions calmly, efficiently, but with care. Mia monitored the health of everyone, reminding them to rest, drink water, and check each other's safety. Ethan worked on the satellite's outer panels, lifting heavy components while Kai tried to adjust smaller tools, fumbling at first, then improving with guidance. Kai felt a strange pride as he worked. He had never experienced teamwork like this before. Every action he took mattered not because he was forced but because he wanted to help. Because he cared. And that care, he realized, made him stronger. By the time the repairs were finished, the humans had finished checking each other's work and made sure no one was left behind. The mission had taken longer than expected and everyone was exhausted. But there were smiles on their faces, quiet laughter, and small words of encouragement. Kai had learned more in one mission than he could have imagined. Back on the station, Anna approached him, her hand resting gently on his shoulder. "Welcome to our family," she said softly. Kai looked at her, surprised. "Family?" "Yes," Anna said, smiling. "Family isn't always about blood. It's about trust, care, and choosing to be there for each other. And now you are part of it." Leo watched silently, feeling a strange sense of peace. The rigid rules of their society, the endless calculations and orders, all seemed small and cold compared to this warmth, this simple bond that humans shared. He had never known anything like it. Over the following weeks, the aliens integrated further into human life. Kai learned how to carry tools properly, how to work in coordination with others, and how to react in emergencies. He laughed with the humans, learned their games, and even shared stories of his own life, finding that humans listened with interest and respect. Leo observed quietly, learning patience and the importance of small gestures. He saw humans comfort each other in ways he had never understood, offering a hand, a smile, or a word when needed. Even the smallest act mattered. Each gesture created bonds, and those bonds strengthened the group as a whole. The aliens began to see that human strength was not just in their technology or their weapons. It was in their connections. It was in their care for each other. It was in the way they faced danger together, helped each other, and never left anyone behind. One evening, as the humans gathered in the station's common hall for a quiet meal, Kai floated to Anna. I do not fully understand all of it," he admitted. "But I feel it. I feel belonging. I feel a warmth. I feel family." Anna smiled and placed her hand lightly on his arm. "That is all that matters. You do not need to understand everything right away. You just feel it and you act on it. That is enough. That is how we build our family." Kai looked around at the humans. They laughed together, shared stories, and helped each other even in small ways, making sure everyone was included. It was messy, chaotic, and unpredictable, but it was perfect in its own way. And for the first time he understood that perfection was not in rules or order, it was in choice, care, and connection. Across the station, humans continued their daily lives. Children played, engineers worked, medics helped the sick or injured, and leaders like Anna guided everyone with patience and warmth. The aliens observed, learning and growing with each passing day. Kai realized that he had never known a family before. His society had rules, hierarchies, and obligations, but no warmth, no care, no choice. Humans had taught him that family was more than rules. It was connection, trust, and action. And now he was part of it. Leo too felt the change within himself. He no longer saw humans as strangers. He saw them as a model of strength and resilience, and as teachers of something he had never known, true loyalty and care. By the time the aliens prepared for their next mission alongside the humans, they were no longer observers. They were participants. Kai moved with confidence, helping where he could, learning quickly, and feeling a sense of belonging he had never known. Anna placed her hand on his shoulder again as the shuttle prepared to depart. "Remember," she said softly, "you are part of our family. And family always has each other's backs." Kai nodded, a small smile forming on his face. "I understand now. I am family." As the shuttle lifted from the station, heading toward new missions and distant stars, Kai looked at the humans around him. He realized that family was not something given. It was something chosen. And when you chose to care for others, you became part of something stronger than fear, stronger than rules, stronger than the universe itself. Across the stars, humans continued their journeys, always helping each other, always caring, always proving that family could be chosen. And that choice created a power that no other species could match. Kai and Leo watched, feeling it deeply, understanding that their lives had changed forever. They had learned the greatest lesson humans could teach, that love, trust, and loyalty were not weaknesses, they were the true strength of the universe. And for the first time the aliens knew they were home.